Alright, welcome back. This is what, week 6, some shit? I don't know, week 7. And another 6.8% week. So, actually, not as high as last week, but another big positive week. I mean, almost 7% on that. So, yeah, alright, let's go. So, this is the total performance. You can see we only got one more week left. It's a shortened week, 4 days. So, we can see right here in the end of March, we're not doing too well. Then we did a 67% comeback. That's insane. A 67% comeback to the end of basically May. This quarter ends on 5:30, so end last day of May, and then we'll have a 1 week funding period, and then it will start again. So you can see really we were doing all right, and then we kind of went negative, and then we did a huge comeback. So that's great. The goal is around 55. We'll see. So total performance, you can see on the money chart, still better than the percent chart over here. So you can see last week, this starting week was kind of chill, and then we did get some good gains in the middle. My bad. And then last week was also a really high week, hitting 20, ending around 16. So yeah. So you got Nasdaq. Finally, Nasdaq is finally going off its insane run. Here it doesn't look very high because of this big chart here, but I mean, it was a really high gain. I think it was around 12 something percent. Or peak was around 14, I think. Right now it's around 11. So you can see Nasdaq lost negative 2.3% this week. We gained 6.8, and we almost outperformed all the days, so 4 to 5. So you can see we have actually reached the over 60% of outperforming days on Nasdaq for this quarter. For this quarter on the total. And you can see we're more than 37% outperforming Nasdaq, which is very, very high. You can see S&P 500 also having a bit of a downturn. Over here we have the S&P, so it lost negative 2.55, so a little bit worse, almost all 5. And you can see overall we're not quite at 60, we're 55, but we're still high. The goal is 50, and we're highly above that, 5%, which is pretty good. And we're actually more than 40, almost 40% outperforming S&P 500 in this quarter only. Dow Jones, so Dow Jones is the worst one at the moment. You can see Dow Jones lost negative 2.4 this week, almost 5 also. Overall, it's only 4.68%, which is not bad, right? But compared to the others, not as high. You can see we're almost hitting the 60% mark on this. And then over here, you have the comparison of all. So the all, to be honest, we weren't doing too well here. Then we caught up, and then we really haven't even gone down. I mean, it's been a complete straight way up. There's currently no signs of stopping. I mean, we'll see when it starts to slow down, but currently I don't see any real signs of it. You can see markets are falling a bit, and we're gaining. When they were going up, we were gaining. Really only here was the outlier. But yeah, over here, so we actually increased this insane daily percent gain to 1.63 a little bit. We still increased it. You can see there was quite a bit of volatility in the middle of the catch up. But I mean, really, our worst day was negative 5 in the middle of our worst period, and our best day was almost 15%. We've had a consistent gains over here, so a bit of a loss, but like consistent high gains. Like this was a very good run over here, and we've had insane amount of green days. A couple red over here, but not that bad. Over here we have the overall for this week, so kind of lowering down the volatility, really chilling over here on the first day. Second day, Tuesday, pretty chill, and then on here Wednesday I did take some opportunity here on the yeah, I did gain quite a bit here, and then we had the tariff news, so I also gained there. And the tariff news was actually on Friday, I'm pretty sure, so I did the gain there, and then here was also a bit of a gain, not too much, but yeah, so really here always this week was really good example week. I mean, it's always winning. Overall, we finally passed the green to red, so we're actually finally above our red, 15, and here's I think 11 or 12, and then we got quite a bit of neutral days. Overall, so profitable trades just increased by 7%, so that's very good. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I don't think it's this high since I started. I think it's around 72 or something. Okay, so our gains did decrease by around 1%, the average, and then our losses stayed exactly the same. We had no losing days this week. So over here, standard deviation decreased. That's good. S&P's gains decreased. Their losses decreased a little bit. So the ratio, standard deviation for SPY also decreased. And then the ratio, so our ratio is still very high. It's 2 above SPY's ratio for the gain and losses. Right now, our our losing average could be negative 433. It's currently negative 1.4, and our gains could be 1.22 and they're currently in 3.8, and that would be to have the same ratio as SPY, so it's losing and winning. So on the respectively, we're gaining and losing a lot. Our losses are, like, you can think of it, our risk management is a lot better than SPY at the moment. Now, this doesn't take into account standard deviation. So if we take that into account right now, last week was 3.5, now it's 3.4. So it has decreased. You can say 3.6, 3.4. So it's decreased by a bit. And then our difference has also decreased by a little. So, that's not good, but anything above 0 is really good. So we're doing fine. But yeah, so you can see it's still, our standard deviation is a lot higher, but we're still losing and winning a lot better than SPY. So that's good. Transactions did increase by a little bit, and the mean, this stayed the exact same. And then over here you have the overall 48.76% this quarter. Last week we were at almost 40, so we gained around 8% this week. 6.81, right? But then it's also compounding. So every time it compounds, it goes. The compounding grows quickly, especially at these levels. So yeah. We have 1 more week, 4 more days left. I don't think 4 days, nothing really bad. It's probably gonna be around the 40-50 range. The goal is 55, and then we're gonna restart the quarter and then have hopefully another great quarter. This quarter was really special, but it's insane gains. We had 9%, then 12%, now 48. We'll see how it ends. But yeah, next week is also a busy week on news, GDP. So we'll see what happens on that. Right now we're cash, so I'm taking the volatility a lot lower. But yeah, so great. Hope to see more people coming in next quarter, and hope you reach out and join. Just email me, and yeah. So thank you.